Alright, before I get into this review, I have a couple of things to clear up first. It is Stephen Yeun who plays Glenn and Scott Wilson that plays Herschel. There you go. I got it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that was actually bugging me for a while. Also, this may be a spoiler right now, but it was one of the biggest shocking and jaw-dropping moments that this season has to offer. When Rick killed that prisoner, just without even thinking killed him. To quote Norman Reedus from the Boondock Saints, I can't believe that just happened. That's exactly what I said out loud when I saw that scene. Great scene, perfect to watch. It's the only spoiler that you're going to get out of me throughout this entire series. But then again, I'm doing a review, so that might be a lie. Anyway, The Walking Dead Season 3. So The Walking Dead Season 3 is another fantastic season that comes out of The Walking Dead. And most people consider this season to be the magnum opus, the best season out of The Walking Dead. And is it the best season of The Walking Dead? Well, in many ways, yes. It may not be one of my favorite seasons. Well, technically, yes, it is one of my favorite seasons. But in many ways, it is the best season of The Walking Dead. This is exactly what The Walking Dead should have been. It's smooth, it has a lot of action, it has a lot of great storylines, and it flowed very, very well. Had The Walking Dead kept that type of storytelling for the rest of the show, we'd be talking about The Walking Dead in a very different way today. But anyway, in The Walking Dead Season 3, several months have passed. Lori is now like 9 months pregnant at this point, and Rick and the group are now on the move. And you could tell that time has passed because a lot of them are, because Rick himself is starting to grow a beard, everyone's starting to get long hair, and with Lori several months pregnant at this point, you can tell a whole lot of time has passed. Even the attitudes that they have had at the end of Season 2 have completely changed. Like, for example, Carol. Carol at the very end of Season 2 was not comfortable around Rick. She was kind of scared around him. She thought the group was unsafe with him being the leader. And honestly, had they would have had the same speech Rick gave in the comic books, I think that scene would have flowed a whole lot better. But we get what we get, and now we move on with the story. But this time, Carol is a whole lot different. Now she's relying on the group, and there's even a moment in the show that says, yeah, if I would have walked away, I would have died. We would be dead without Rick. So attitudes have changed they're a lot closer. They have like a system going to help survive in this world, and that is exactly what we've been looking for a couple of seasons now, is how they survive in this world. Well, moving around, going to house, finding supplies, that type of stuff. Some things that you could probably find in a zombie video game to do. But since Lori is several months pregnant, they need to find a place. They need a place to stay. And that's when they run into the prison. The prison, who would have thought in the zombie apocalypse, a prison would be the best place that you could possibly be in the zombie apocalypse. But anyway, they get there, they have this new home now, this whole new place, and you think for 1 second that we can have a breather. Well, you can have a breather for a half hour. That's it. Because this is the zombie apocalypse. It is never that simple. Because even though they find the prison, they still have problems to deal with. They have, in many ways, they have to deal with loss, grief, and still they... You get what I mean. I don't even know how to put this in words because there's something else I want to talk about for this season. This is the season where they introduce another villain of the story, and this man is called the Governor. The Governor is running this massive town, more like a downtown street where survivors live at, and it seems like a very peaceful place. It's colorful, it's bright, it's all of that type of stuff. Only problem is that he has a very, very, very dark side, and when he's playing the good guy, when he's around the town, he seems like a very good leader. However, when you see him behind closed doors and you see him with his men going after supplies and all such, that is where the villain shines. I mean, he goes from nice guy to villain in just like that. He's a very shocking character. He was fun to hate, but at the same time enjoyable to watch. And in several moments of this season, he brings out some of the best moments in basically the show. But also, this is the season where we're introduced to Another character. This character is awesome. This character is fantastic. And when she finally gets introduced in the show, it was a slam dunk victory, absolute perfection. And that is Michonne. Michonne is one of the fan favorite characters from the comic books. She is first introduced with two walkers right behind her. That's how she survives in the zombie apocalypse. But also, it's her katana, her samurai sword. That's another thing that people recognize her by. And they nailed it. She was perfectly nailed. When Michonne is introduced to the group, that is where, for in my mind, we finally have our zombie apocalypse group, the survivors. We have Rick, we have Daryl, we have Michonne, we have Carol, we have Carl, or Coral, as Rick likes to call him. We have our group of survivors. We finally have the Walking Dead group that we get to watch for the rest of the show. So I gotta say, season 3, so many exciting moments. And just to point this out, the humanity that I talked about in season 2, yeah, these are not the same characters anymore. If you were to watch Rick Grimes in this season, and then go back and watch him in season 1, the only thing you're gonna be thinking is, dude, you have fallen far. But then again, in this world, you have no choice but to become a very different character in order to survive. It's kind of like the same thing in Breaking Bad, where Walter White was the good guy in the very beginning. He had an idea of what to do when he gets into the drug business, but when you see him in later seasons, he just becomes the absolute bad guy. And I love the fact that both of these shows would go, the main character is the good guy in the beginning, someone to look up to, the leader of the group, to still the leader of the group, but a completely different character. Basically goes from good guy to with villain tactics. And that was some of the fun things that you get from The Walking Dead. And when the governor and Rick finally meet, this war finally happened between the prison and this town, this is when things really do escalate. And I gotta say, for 16 episodes, finally the length of a season that we know for The Walking Dead, there was a lot of excitement, a lot of shocking moments. This is the only season that I could tell of The Walking Dead with its full length where there was not a wasted episode. Something always happened in every single episode, and I applaud this season for it. So, is it my favorite season of The Walking Dead? Well, not yet. We're not to my favorite season of The Walking Dead just yet. But it is one of the best ones. So I gotta say, Season 3 of The Walking Dead is legendary. So guys, Season 3 of The Walking Dead, have you seen it? What did you think of it? Was it one of those seasons where you just had to watch from start to finish, just like me? Or is it just one of those seasons that you just don't like? I mean, people have opinions, but whatever you think, comment down below. Also, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.